What does it take to 3D print your own custom LED sign? I mean, how hard can it really be? It turns out it just takes some filament, some LED lights, and a whole lot of time. Let's see how this goes. Welcome back. In our print alchemy journey of turning plastic into gold, we're diving into the world of sign making. I realized something the other day. I don't really have anything in the background that ties my logo or my brand to this channel, so I found an empty space and it looks like it would be the perfect spot for a nice LED sign. And what's the point in having a 3D printer or two if you can't make your own custom backlit sign? So today we're venturing into new territory with custom 3D modeling, finding out how difficult it can be to translate a creation in Blender to the real world. And of course, adding some LED lights, because LED lights make everything cooler. I've been dabbling in Blender for a few years, but I've never modeled something from scratch for 3D printing. Until now. Step 1, the logo. Thankfully, I already have one after a few too many nights of late night brainstorming. Next was to land on a style. The easiest translation would be to make my existing logo 3D and then backlight it. But that felt like I'd have some wasted space, and honestly, it didn't feel very custom. So then I thought about leaning towards the Erlenmeyer flask. It would definitely give me the custom vibe I was looking for, and it would be noticeable, but I was worried that people wouldn't know what it was for, so scratch that. Third design was to land somewhere in the middle with an outline version of the text with the Erlenmeyer flask. The most difficult option. So obviously, that's the one I wanted. Now, to bring the vision to reality, or at least try. This video isn't meant to be a tutorial. It's more of a behind the scenes look at how I brought the design to life. But if you do want a tutorial version, let me know down in the comments. Your feedback really helps me shape what comes next. Or if you'd rather just sit back and watch me wrestle with some LEDs, say that too. Alright, that's enough talking. Let's do this. Hexagon with rounded corners. A breeze. Use a cylinder but limit it to 6 sides, and then use the bevel to make it rounded. Then we'll scale down a copy so we can hollow it out later. Then a couple of real cylinders for the bubbles. Next, let's add the text. We'll just use a simple text mesh and use my font. And now, the hard part, that Erlenmeyer flask. Maybe I should just pick a new logo. Nope, we've got this. Let's take a plane, subdivide it a few times, and then trace out one side of the beaker and then mirror. Now, let's hollow it out with the liquid line, and we are all set. If only it went this fast in real life. Let's move on to the background. We'll create an outline from a duplicate of the logo we just made. I connected all the pieces by joining the vertices, and then I delete all the extra vertices in the middle. As you can see, that didn't take any time at all. Finally, we're making reliefs in the background where the LEDs will be visible, and channels through the components of the logo where the LED lights won't be visible. I also created outlines to raise the logos above the background, and we'll use those later for diffusers. Let's take a look at the final components in Blender. You can see the hollowed out letters that create the outlines for the diffusers to sit in. As we move around the top, you can see cutouts that I made using a hollowed out cylinder to run the wire through when I'm ready to hang it. And here's a view of the narrow channels to thread the LED lights through. Yeah, that part's gonna come back to haunt me later. And these pieces are hollowed out to become the diffusers. And then, after a ridiculous amount of time fixing geometry, here we are with all of the parts of my custom 3D sign. And now, we wade into uncharted territory, where I'm going to try to put this together. And I only have one shot to do it. Will all of the pieces fit together? Will I have enough LED lights? Do the LED lights even turn on? That one I really should have tested. Well, cross your fingers and let's see how it goes. What could possibly go wrong? that was a real nail biter in the end and took way longer than I expected. If you watch an upcoming video and you see it blink out, you'll know why. Will I redo it? Maybe one day. Unfortunately, I just didn't have a ton of space for a sign, so I couldn't make it too big. And as you saw, I barely had space to run the LED lights through the letters, regardless of my poor planning with the channels. Before I talk about what I would do differently, let's get two things out of the way. First, I have to say the obvious. Don't try doing what I did. Although those LED lights were troopers and put up a really good fight, that wasn't the best choice of how to work with something that has electricity running through it. Second, wow. 100% not sponsored, but those lights really took a beating. I am genuinely impressed. What I learned. When you're zoomed in on something in Blender, it may look like there's plenty of space. There isn't. Make the channel seem way too big. And it will probably fit just right. Also, either make the print bigger or get smaller LEDs. Doing that would have solved all of the issues and things would have fit better. If you have any other recommendations, throw them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. But here it is, a custom LED sign. $20 of filament, $20 of LEDs, and more hours than I'm willing to admit. But again, that's hobbyist math for you. Honestly though, worth it. Can't wait to hang it up and finally have a proper Print Alchemist backdrop. You know, they say that alchemy is about turning base materials into gold, but this time, it was about turning plastic into light. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to throw me a like. And if you want to come along on this journey, make sure to subscribe because this is just the beginning.